in that downtime where your brain, like for me, it's like chewing on a piece of gum. And now that
Yes,
I'm in it, now I see like I can see all these new possibilities and I can just riff, right? And that to me is
exactly.
the most fun. That's where it doesn't feel like work because you're sitting here like, okay, we have all these ideas. And one of the things I said is like, we need to start a note right now.
Yes.
What I've
And I'm
noticed from
so
all
grateful
these
you did.
years, because what happens is you go to these events and then you have absolute amnesia. So if anybody is listening and is like, oh, I'm going to a conference, I'm going to an event, I'm going to a retreat, like as soon as you have the idea,
Write
like
it
take notes in real time, write it down,
down.
and then also
Yes.
like make a meeting to like recap it because I think there's so much that we forget after the moment has
Absolutely.
passed because like you're just running on high. And so it's hard to like remember what you were going to come back to.
Kiss my aesthetic, brandy, marketing, entrepreneurship. Kiss my
Greetings and welcome back
aesthetic.
to the Kiss My Aesthetic podcast. It's been only 2 months since you last heard her. She's already on her. She's already a repeat guest. Welcome back
Yes.
to the podcast, Mo.
Thank you so much. I'm so stoked to be here. I love it here.
Yay. Well, also, so much has happened since we last talked. So, the
Yes.
last episode, we really just recapped Studio Tigre, the brand, how you started it, your background. So, we'll save the people all that information because you can literally just scroll not too far and find all that good stuff. But one of the biggest developments and exciting things that's happened recently, which people got a preview of on my socials and yours, was World of Coffee. So, I'd love to recap
Yes.
your experience with World of Coffee, what you were able to do there, how Studio Tigre comes into the mix, what it is, who it's for, and kind of how that's been jet fuel in your jetpack for all these new opportunities that are coming down the pike. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, give us the big recap and tell us what it is and what your initial feelings were, kind of coming out of World of Coffee.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, my initial feelings were my body was completely wrecked, but my
Oh my
heart
god.
was so full. It
Girl,
is.
talk about Energizer Bunny. You were on it. Like you were
You were
wow.
right there with me, girl. You were right there with me. You honestly, I'm so thankful that you got to see all
Ah,
and experience all that with me because it was fantastic. I cannot believe that was the first time you and I met in
I know.
person, first of all.
Crazy.
Like, that's crazy. But secondly, that is just like our biggest coffee trade show every year in America. And it's where everyone sees everyone,
Mhm.
and it is just like a reunion and all the fun new exciting things happening and a catch up time all condensed into a 3-day weekend, and it is the most exhausting thing and is the most beautiful thing all at the same time, and it is literally nonstop, like from the morning until way past my bedtime when I turn into a pumpkin at night. There's just workshops, lectures. The show floor is huge. It was around 18,000 people this
Oh
year.
my gosh.
Yeah, it was
Crazy.
insane. And you walked onto that show floor and you're like, whoa,
I was like,
there's just,
"Wow, this is intense."
it just keeps going. But it was my first time ever teaching at World of Coffee. And I taught 2 workshops because I'm crazy that way. And I was just like, let's do this. And my
So
first one
how
was,
did that come
yes,
about? Did they reach out to you or did you pitch them?
both. So the
Okay.
roasting workshop, I had already known I wanted to pitch them to teach that workshop. But what was so amazing was I got a text asking for my roasting workshop. They're like, "Hey, would you want to teach this?" And I was like, "Absolutely, perfect," because I was already going to ask you. And so the head of all the lectures and workshops reached out to me and asked. Her name is Jess. She's incredible. And so I did the roasting workshop first thing Friday morning, 9 to 12. And then my second workshop that I pitched was a workflow design efficiency workshop with one of my best friends, Lena Vigetta of Blue Bottle. And so that was kind of like a reimagining of a workshop she did last year, but
Mhm.
just added the design section of it because I really do believe that workflow and design are just 2 things that must go together. Otherwise, you're just kind of fighting and trying to fix things in a system where you're like, damn, we could have started from the beginning and it would have been so much
Uh-huh.
smoother, but we're going to make this work. So it was so fun, and I just felt so aligned with what I was doing, and I just felt like I was in a flow state the whole day,
Oh,
and I
you
loved
totally
it.
were. You totally
Yay!
were. And that was so obvious. Like I think from the first second of your workshop, I was like, "Oh, she knows what's up." Like she's which
Thank
obviously
you.
you have the like decades of knowledge and experience and like you have so much to deliver, but I think when you see somebody who's like in full alignment and I think you sharing and teaching to
Thank
people
you.
is where your joy is. And that's like so obvious. And everyone that I talked to like agreed with that. So that was really
Oh.
exciting to see. It was really exciting to see. But you also let's focus in on that first workshop. So your roasting
Yes,
workshop, you got to work with a brand, which was very exciting.
I
Talk
did.
about how that came to fruition.
So I am so stoked to say that I was able to work with Roest from Oslo, Norway. And it was honestly it was so serendipitous because I'm teaching a roasting workshop. And so what do people want to do there? They want to roast. Like they want to get on those machines. They want to get some hands-on experience because I can talk about theory to you all day, but it means nothing, right? Like it means nothing unless you are at a roaster, smelling those things, seeing those things, hearing those things happen, and touching it all. And then we cupped the coffees that we roasted right after. And it's just like one of those full circle moments of like, let's connect all these dots that we just talked about and just did. And now you can taste it. And so Roas was so kind and gracious. They lent us 4 L200 Ultras, which are their newest sample roasters. And they're fantastic. But my goodness, they are such a pretty penny that I would never have been able to have 4. I would have been lucky to have 1. So I'm just so grateful for them. And it came about because I knew someone on their team named KB, Kimberly Bates, who is amazing. I met her at a retreat, actually, a roasters retreat in Washington. How geeky does that sound? But it was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just such a beautiful human inside and out. And I was like, well, I want to be in her orbit. I want to keep her in my life forever. And so we have, thanks to the beauty of social media, one of the positives, because Lord knows there's
Yes.
lots of negatives, but
Oh
one of the
yeah.
positives of social media is she lives in the UK. So she lives in the UK and I live in Los Angeles, but we're able to keep up with each other. And so I just reached out and was like, would you all be willing to help me do this? Because I could just shoot videos of me roasting, which is
Yeah.
not as fun. But I know that when I was learning how to roast, it was just the most important thing to understand and see and do. And I also knew that it was such a big opportunity for whatever sample roaster I was using because all those people that came to my workshop, like they just learned on your roaster. They just learned on your roaster and like they can see firsthand like the technology and how user friendly they really are and how all of the data that the roast collects like during the roast are all the things that we already were teaching in the workshop, but it does it for you to just literally have like a notebook that is just like real time recording for you. So you can understand everything that you just did. And then when you taste it, you're like, shoot, let me see how this roast went. What do I need to fix? Or, oh my God, this roast is amazing. Let's make this the profile and keep this consistent, delicious cup happening every single time.
Well, and I think you're really getting at what brand partnerships are supposed to be. Like I think we've really lost the sauce on brand partnerships, right? Because there's kind of this influencer vibe and then there's kind of this like, well,
Oh my
what am I
goodness.
going to get out of it? And I think we're all in the business of helping people. So if you can
Yes.
create an offer for a brand that says, I have an opportunity to get your product in front of people that would want to buy your product. Like, how do you make an offer that a brand can't refuse? And then it's like pretty easy for them to say yes, I feel. You
I
know
was
what I mean?
hoping so, but I've never asked for anything like that. So
Yeah.
I was so nervous. I was like, oh God, please say yes. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I didn't ask anybody else. I didn't want anybody else. I
Yeah.
was like, I want you. I want you. And if
Yeah.
you say no, I don't really know what I'm gonna do.
No,
But I
exactly.
was so excited. I was so, so excited. And honestly, they're like incredible. Like the technology that they're coming out with, the new ROAS, and they just released their P3000, which is okay, these names also. I
Love.
must admit, it is a little like
No, I love it.
L200, P3000.
Uh-huh.
I feel a little
Uh-huh.
spaceship movie like Project Hail Mary-ish, but love that movie. But it was the newest 3 kilo production roaster of theirs. And
Wow.
it like is just so like most sample roasters do not translate well from sample
Sure.
roasting to production roasting. But with ROAS being able to do all these new things in their product development, like is maybe one of the most easy transfers, as well as just like one of the best workflows I've ever seen. Because I know that as a small business owner, that like I'm not honestly like this sounds like an ad, but it really isn't. Like ROAS is
No,
not
no,
paying me to
no.
say this. I swear to God, but it is just, but that I would happily take it. But it is so crazy as a small business owner, like all the millions of things that you have to do, right? Like the
Totally.
jillion hats that we wear.
Totally.
And so
Totally.
when I'm roasting, sometimes you're like, God damn, like I am roasting for 6 hours in this day, and all you can do is pay attention to the roaster. Because one, you don't want to blow yourself up. Two, you don't want that coffee to taste like poo because, you have people that are relying on you for their coffee. And
Mhm.
it is incredible what the ROAS can do as a manual roaster. Like if you still want that craft and art and like that control, you can do it. But if you want to be like, sick, this profile is fantastic. Repeat it for
Yeah,
me,
let's run
ROAS.
it again.
Run
Yeah.
it again. And it can do that for you. And you can be like, let me answer some emails. Let me do this. Let me package these bags. Like your workflow
Right.
suddenly opens up to be able to do that and still get to do like exactly what I love, which is I love roasting and I love teaching. But Lord knows sometimes when I'm talking and trying to do something at the same time, I'm like, like my brain hurts. And so it is definitely one of those moments where you're like, wow, I'm just so grateful that technology is here that allows me to do all these things. So,
No, absolutely. We are our tools in a lot of ways, right? This is how I feel about Basecamp. Like I could not operate my business without Basecamp. Like the project management tool is everything to me because it really does help get those kind of projects across the finish line. Same with Canva. Let's
yes.
speaking of Canva, let's
Oh my
talk about
gosh.
how let's talk about the whole origin of how I ended up in your presentation because you're telling me you're like, Michelle, I'm going to World of Coffee. I've got these 2 workshops, blah blah blah. And I said, great. Like, I'd love to like take a peek at your slides, like, and just like see if
Oh
there's
my gosh.
anything that I can help to tune up or like make it. And to your credit, you had the colors down. Like the colors were
Thank
good.
you.
But I looked at it, I was like, this is 68 slides long.
I know. And they were so jam packed. And I was like,
4-point font. I was like, oh no, 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 no. I was like, please give it to me. I was like, I need it. Like, I can't, I'm dropping everything to get this done. Because
thank
here's the
you.
deal. Here was my motivation too. This is also people's kind of first exposure to Studio Tigre, the brand.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
said, listen, if you get a one chance to make a first impression, let's really make sure that this is everything you dreamed of and more. And so I think you and
It
I
was.
was just giggling to myself, I don't know, a month ago when it's 11:30 p.m. and I am in the Canva document, you're in the Canva document, Selena's in, and I was like, look at
Yeah.
all of us right now. I was like, we're
I
being
know.
freaks. We're being freaks. Talk to me about like how do you even pull all that information? You basically delivered an entire semester's worth of education into 3 hours. How do you start to cull all that information down as an expert to even be digestible from your audience, keep their attention? And then how was it seeing kind of like me being someone that knows nothing about coffee, taking what you've put together and putting it even more simplified? What was that process like for you?
Oh my God, honestly, so first of all, you helped so much and made it so beautiful. Thank you. I cannot tell you the amount of gratitude I have. There are no words in any language to express how much gratitude I have for that because truly, y'all, I really just hope that there's like an image on the screen right now, like the before and the
Side
after.
by
It
side,
was just
we
like,
can make it happen.
it was so, it was rough because like Michelle said, it really was just so much information. And that's because I also my process is I like word vomit. Like I do
Mhm.
everything and then I edit back. It's the same when I
Mhm.
pack. Like I pack everything or like I set out everything that I want to pack and then I like die a little and cry and then take stuff out.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it is so much information and you can go so deep with it. So I really just like laid everything out there and then it is to the credit of my teammates at my old shop K&M and like all the years that they were in the roastery with me because it was a value of mine to never gatekeep information as it was gate kept from me. And so it was like, no, everyone on my team is going to learn how to roast. They're going to at least come. And even if this was not something that they were that interested in, I want you to know it. Like, this is
Yeah.
important to me. And this is important for your job and for what you do every day. And so it was to their credit that, like, as I was teaching, it really my teammates every week. I mean, as I was teaching my teammates every week at the roastery, it was a different teammate every week. Right. And so
Right.
I have repeated this information in so many different ways. And it really is just like, how do I communicate this? How do I communicate it in a digestible way? Because, there's so much that I've internalized and I understand what's happening, but then I think teaching is also just this really beautiful act of like narrating what
Yeah.
you think, like, inside, but you just have to say it out loud, right? You have to say it out loud. You have to like really just be like, what the hell am I doing that you might not know? There should be no assumptions of like information and understanding, because then that's where people miss things. And so I love that act of just like sharing and then understanding from there, like watching their process, like watching their brain work, seeing like, okay, what's nailing, what's not, what's not really landing with you, how can I describe it in a different way, and how do you learn best, right? Because I think everyone also learns in different ways. And so I have had so many moments to really just like hone in on this workshop because, K&M opened to the public in 2016 and it is
Yeah.
2026. So that is 10 solid years of just me being like, here we go, let's talk about this again. And there really is just such a joy for me in sharing and like knowing that, hey, you might not ever get this experience again. So let's do this. Like, I want to be here for you. I want to help you understand this. And it really stems from there. And so that process was insane to put it on slides because I am a great talker. I can talk through this with you so easy, but writing it
Uh-huh.
down, I was like, oh my God, I haven't done a slide presentation. I haven't done a PowerPoint presentation since like college. And I
Yep.
graduated college 2008. So I was like, oh, damn
Mhm. Well, and also, like, I wanna point to a pain point because 'cause you're not alone in this, of, like, here now you've got branding that you love. You've got branding that you love, you've got the fonts, you've got the colors, you've got the styles. I,
Yes.
similar to you, never wanna gatekeep someone's success. I don't wanna
Mm-mm.
prohibit you from feeling successful in your business by saying, "Well, if you want anything designed, you have to go through me." And so for me, Canva was this great, like, democratizing tool, right? Because
Yes.
now I can set my clients up with their brand kit, with their fonts, their styles, their colors, their illustrations, all that stuff. But then I'm still like, there's still that difference between what, because you're an expert at what you do and I'm an expert at what I do, right? So like, so you have the information. The fact that you have the information, I can't make that up. And I think we run into this sometimes with clients where it's like, I can't do the thought leadership for you. That's got to come from you. But what I can do is get in there and like clean it up and make it digestible. And for me, like the
Yes.
greatest, most satisfying thing was seeing people take pictures of the slides. And I was like,
I
you know what? That's how
know.
we knew we did it right. Because it's one thing, like they could hear you and they could follow along, but I think some of the ways, like visual information design is so interesting to me because it's
Yes.
just, how do we take this complex topic and really make it that so you can follow along, right? And that we don't have to have every single word that you're planning to say on the slide, but if we were to really distill it down, how can we make it
Yes.
compelling? Are there slides that stick out to you that you're like, "Oh, this one hits." Like that,
Oh
"Oh
my
yeah, like
God.
this feels like the inside of my brain, the way that it looks."
I mean, truly that, like, without even having it in front of me, like
Yeah.
the one with all the different kinds of roasting and like the heat transfer slide where you're like
Mhm.
conduction, convection, radiation. And I was like, thank you, Michelle, because it looked so
Mhm.
bad and so intense when I had it. And then like the phases of roasting, I
Yeah.
had so much information and I was like, oh God, like I don't know how to do this.
I think also just, like, creatively using emojis, right? To show, like, what do you
Yes.
see? What do you smell? What do you hear? Like, yes, we can write out see, smell, hear, but we could also use, like, eyeball, nose, and ear, and, like, people will know.
Yes.
They'll fill in the gaps, you know what I mean? So and it keeps it, like, visually interesting and compelling. So I think it was such a great aid to what you were teaching, which was
Thank you.
ideal. And so, like, that roasting workshop was fabulous, and then also just, like, seeing you, like I said, like, be in your zone of genius and, like, share that with people and people to really understand it, but connecting, I think what, again, the reason why I was so gung ho on like designing these slides is I want people to connect the quality of information with Studio Tigre.
Thank
Like there
you.
needs to be that like visual link that's happening,
Yes.
right? Of like, oh, now when I see Studio Tigre, the brand, I know I'm going to get this level of energy, this level of quality, this level of education, which was the
Absolutely,
goal.
because as much as we hate to admit it, like, you're being judged by the
Yeah,
way
of
you look,
course.
by the things that you are presenting, by everything, and no detail is too small for that, and so truly,
Mhm.
the amount of information I had is incredible, and I know that I have 0, fear in saying that, like, I know I'm awesome. Like, I know
Yeah.
my shit. But like seeing it on slides, I was like, oh my God, this looks terrible. Like this looks crazy. And it was just also one of those moments where I was a little too close to the content to really understand what to
Sure.
take out because I have always said it. out loud versus visually seeing it. And so once I saw it visually, I was like, "Oh, damn, like I need
Oh.
help." I was like, "Oh my God, there's so much." And then you were also just so impactful in the ways that you separated the information with just like a really simple column, which I would have never thought
Mhm.
of. I was just
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
this is genius, Michelle. And just
No, it was so
the
fun.
yeah, thank you. Honestly, I'm so glad you said it's fun because I was like, this is really not my favorite thing to do. I
No,
don't
it's fun
believe it
for
came
me
fun.
because I think I get what's the best part about my job is like I get to learn so much about so many different industries on so many different topics. And so for it's a way for me to be like, okay, I know a fraction of what you know, almost close to zero about coffee. So if I was a person that was showing up to this workshop, how would I take this and like lay it out so that I could understand it? And I think this is going to serve you so well. And another reason we love Canva is like we can now take this presentation and repurpose it. Like it doesn't need to just have one lifespan. It can now be
Exactly.
used as educational tools ongoing. And it helps to even just like strengthen your visual style and your like aesthetic authority of like this look equals good information. And that's what we're going for. Yeah.
Exactly. And truly, I used it the week right after. Right
I love that.
after World of Coffee, I had 2 roasting intensive students, which is it's like my private roasting classes. And one was a 4-day student and another was a 2-day student. And it was so tantamount that I had those slides already ready because it just helped connect the dots for them versus me just like talking at them. And then I'm
Absolutely.
about to host a workshop, actually the exact same workshop from World of Coffee, but just like a more intimate group at Woodcat in Echo Park here in Los Angeles because my
Nice.
friend Sadat has a roast. And so we're going to host it there and we're going to use those slides. Like, we are. It's on
Mhm.
Friday, May 15th, if anyone wants to come over. But it is
Yay.
also just something that, like, I want to offer this to more people more often because I
Yeah.
know that those roasting intensives they're an investment, right, of time and money and effort.
Hmm.
Not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone can. Also, I understand, but that's why I want to have a more accessible option where you're just like, let me get into this and then have my foot in the door, and that way maybe we can grow from there. Because I'm
Absolutely.
all about accessibility, but I'm also all about like, knowing your worth and getting paid what you're worth. And I'm just like, y'all, I can't like teach this for free, but here are options so that we can
Yeah.
cover as many different groups as possible. And I love it. It makes me so happy. And truly, like, watching people learn, I feel like I can see like the cogs in their brain turning.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
then
Uh-huh.
just having that visual in front of them, I feel like I see them staring so hard and I'm like, yes, yes, like
Mhm.
process. And then I give them the
Mhm.
presentation after, right? Like, because I want them to know and keep that. And so I'm just happy that you made it so beautiful. Because again, you're the perfect person to have made them digestible because you didn't know that much about
Sure.
everything I was
Sure.
saying.
Sure. Well, and I think also it was a great like my other responsibility at World of Coffee was really to capture all that kind of behind the scenes clips of you, like
Thank
showing
you.
you next to the slides, showing you next to the machines, showing you interacting with people because I noticed this in my business and when I help my sister as a destination wedding planner, like
Yes.
she's able to sell her services so much better with video of her doing her job. Like,
Yes.
and that's something I think we all kind of lack is like okay, yeah, we go to the photo shoots, which we had a great photo shoot with Nadia, and like that's totally worth it. And there's definitely time and place for like
Yes.
nice, well branded lifestyle content. But there's something different about like seeing what it looks like to be at something where you're learning from someone or to
Yes.
see the video of someone actually doing their job. So my goal was like, I'm going to make her a whole library of clips because like we're going
Thank
to have to
you.
come back to
Thank
all
you.
of
I
this.
have used them so many times
I've
already and they're
noticed.
spectacular.
No, and that's really I think another way again, and it was also for me too, right? Like it was showing here's my client alongside their work, alongside the presentation that we've designed with the merch, with the notebooks, like out doing the damn thing and how valuable that is for me as well as the creator. Like I think that there's just so much synergy there. But let's talk also about your second workshop because I
Oh
want to
my
make sure we
God.
leave time for
My
that.
workflow workshop with my one of my
Uh-huh.
besties, Selena. So she had slides from last year. And she will be the first person to admit she's like, I don't know how to do this. My sister made me this presentation. And then from there, I'm just like, ah.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
I was bringing to you her old slides. And she came to me with her old slides and was like, here, like, let's insert your parts. And she was so open to letting me and you just like take the wheel and like reimagine however, whatever,
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
more digestible ways, in more colorful, fun ways. Because I think that a template is incredible to have, but when you can make it more fun and you can make it match your personality, because Selena is just like me, where she's just like, we're gonna show up, right? Like when we are here, we're here for it. And it was definitely like a mismatch sometimes of just like,
Sure.
but this slide is just so neutral and you're not neutral, you know, like
Yeah.
you are joyous and lively and like, let's have your slides reflect that. And so that workflow workshop was spectacular to be able to have you help make it digestible again and beautiful. Cause I was like, Michelle, help. Like,
But
here's
we
all
need
my
to mirror, right, we need to mirror the quality of the information in the actual information design, and something that you said
yes,
in that workshop that I say all the time is, like, clarity is kind. So,
yes,
yes, like, having extra graphics or having, like, different text effects or things like that, that's fun, but then if it's getting to the point where it's compromising the quality of the information, we've got a problem. And also,
yes,
I think that workshop and those slide designs were a great example of, like, co-branding, because your brand is a very
yes.
specific aesthetic. It's very loud, it's very maximal, it's very like saturated and colorful. What does that look like when we need to like march it more towards somebody else's look that isn't those things? And so I think having different instances where we pulled in some of your colors, but maybe not all of your colors, or we had photography or illustrations that had the same kind of
Exactly.
energy, but weren't exactly a carbon copy of what you're doing with Studio Tigre, was like that really nice like compromise.
Yes.
But I think there was so much even space, like even watching you guys, you do both presentations where my brain was already going a million miles an hour. Like I think I'd started a note in my phone of like, oh, here's all the things that I would do next time.
Yes. I know, and I love it because that's how my brain works also. I'm just like,
Yeah.
and Selena too, we both are just like, please give me feedback. Like I want to know what we can
Yeah.
do better, because that's our goal, right? Like that's our end goal. Like we definitely didn't do this for the money. Like we want to do this because we love helping people. And we're like, please
Sure.
tell us like what information you would like more of, or what did and did not work, so that we can make this better for you next time, because
Hmm.
all of it is so helpful for us. And it is truly like our passion. Like I'm not joking. Like sometimes Celine and I will literally, when we're hanging out just like as friends, not working, like this is what we talk about. Like
Sure. No, it
it's
makes
just
sense.
fun. It's just fun for us. Like that episode of The Bear where they're like testing out workflow and like every
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
second counts. Like
Uh-huh.
that's fun for me.
Hmm.
That is so fun for me. And I'm like, ooh, what can we rearrange to make this better? Like I was at a, oh man, it's so rough when you're like at at like a cafe or restaurant or
See, the
really
way you feel
anywhere.
about that is the way that I critique like a menu design. I'm like, oh, we used this
Yeah.
font and somebody didn't outline this graphic, and that's why this is looking funky. And really, like the desserts should be on the same page as the drinks. And yeah, exactly.
I
I'm
love
that way.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. And honestly, like that is why I was like, Michelle, will you
Hmm.
help us with this one too? Because holy goodness, like it was so hard for me to marry
Hmm.
my aesthetic with hers, because we're best friends, right? But we are wholly different people. So it was just like,
Hmm.
oh damn, I don't know what to do. And then my slides were
Hmm.
looking so distinctly different from hers when I gave you the presentation. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, SOS, SOS.
But I think we made it work, and I think
We did. You did.
some of your takeaways too, some of your takeaways too was like that was a big day for you. Like I think also like to kind of for the people listening, like if you're someone who's like going to conferences and doing presenting in this way, like that was ambitious for anyone. So I think one of the things that we talked about too was like you have so much expertise and knowledge to share. Like what would it look like if you were also on a panel or if you also did a different
Yes.
type of activation? And what were some of the things that like obviously like this was a big splashy year because you're like got to get Studio Tigre out there. Da, da, da. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to at the next World of Coffee that you would do either the same or maybe slightly different?
Oh my gosh. Well, I definitely don't think I would teach two workshops back to back
Back to
on the
back.
same day. That was insane, and I loved it because that made my the other 2 days of World of Coffee just open for more
Chill.
things, which I not chill, definitely filled them.
Not chill.
I
Crazy.
was like, girl,
But
we
more
did not
less
chill. You
less
were there.
no, no, no. Yes. I meant more of like less demanding maybe on
Yes.
your on like
Yes.
having to be on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
definitely I was like, "Girl,
Not
you know
opposite of
it.
chill.
You
Yeah,
were
true.
right there
True.
with me." And it
I
was
was
it
there.
was like roller coaster, just like,
Uh-huh.
we're going. And it was honestly just like a beautiful thing, but exhausting. So maybe
Yeah.
spreading them out, and that way I can also just have a little bit more time to like one eat,
Exist.
exist, drink
Yeah.
water, you know?
Yeah.
And I think also I saw from like all of the clips that you made for me, like that you filmed of me, just all these things were of like, let's have something projecting behind me because
Yeah.
that wall is so blank and sad. Or
Yep.
like, hey, let's have some activations here because, it was a long hour of information and theory. And maybe we just like have some
Spice
have
it
some
up.
like spice exactly here and there. More things to give away. Like I gave them keychains. That were so fun, but definitely I think that more things to get people excited at different moments. Like the workflow workshop, we were talking about having a little kit, right? Like a little
Mhm.
3D printed modeling kit of like, let's build out this bar and then see what the workflow is like exactly as it is. And all my brain went to was like colorful Legos. But then I was like, wow, let's make this a kit that like small business owners can utilize. That way they're not like having to tape out things and just like save that time, right? Take that time back because I
Yep.
know that as small business owners, that's the one thing that we like never have enough of. And
Well, and that
so
that's
that
the
and money.
benefit of yeah. Well, that's the benefit of being in person with people. Is like you get so many more ideas, and I notice this all the time when I'm with clients. Like I'm fresh off the
Yes.
trip to India, and I already was like, "Oh, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this," because it's in that downtime where your brain, like for me, it's like chewing on a piece of gum. You're like, "I'm chewing on it, I'm chewing on it, I'm chewing on it," and now that
Yes.
I'm in it, now I see like I can see all these new possibilities, and I can just riff, right? And that to me is
Exactly.
the most fun. That's where it doesn't feel like work because you're sitting here like, okay, we have all these ideas. And one of the things I said is like, we need to start a note right now.
Yes.
What I've
And I'm
noticed from
so
all
grateful
these
you did.
years, because what happens is you go to these events and then you have absolute amnesia. So if anybody is listening and is like, oh, I'm going to a conference, I'm going to an event, I'm going to a retreat, like as soon as you have the idea,
Write it
like take notes in real time, write it down,
down.
and then also
Yes.
like make a meeting to like recap it because I think there's so much that we forget after the moment has
Absolutely.
passed because like you're just running on high and so it's hard to like remember what you were going to come back to. But I think we already had like you're
Absolutely.
saying like this little model bar idea. Like we had a lot of really cool ideas that I think will definitely be useful to you in future and then hopefully get to the point where
Absolutely.
like you can host this roasting workshop with your eyes closed. You already can. But knowing now that you've got like the slides and the confidence and the opportunity to really like make it
Yes.
attractive and make it attractive for brands. This is
I
why I really pushed you for a pitch deck, which you said you've never made before, which is actually crazy to me.
I have never made a pitch deck before, and I was like, "Oh, geez, another presentation." And I was like, "Michelle, I'm drowning. I don't know what to do."
So this is
And I
the
was
thing
like,
that people
"Help."
get wrong about it. This is the thing that people get wrong about pitch decks. Is like the thinking that you have to have a gajillion slides. Obviously, for a 3-hour workshop, 68 slides is appropriate for a 3-hour workshop. It's a lot of time.
It's a
But
lot.
when you're trying to recap an effort and pitch for something that you want from someone, the best thing you can do is like it's time is of the essence, number 1, and number 2, clarity. It's the clarity is kind thing again. It's saying
Exactly.
this is what we did, here's what we accomplished, here's what I'd like to get from you next, and here's what the benefit is to you. And trying to do that in like 5 to 6 slides is the challenge, but I think we're pulling it off. What do
I
you
think
think?
so. Honestly, I mean, you knocked it out of the park in the first go, and I was like, "Damn, girl." The only thing that I just need to change is just like we just got to update some of those photos to
Yeah,
be the nice, beautiful ones from the photo shoot. And then
totally.
just like I have to put like the workshop description in and then just like scoot some things around here cuz when I goal like really hard and I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna ask for the moon and then end up in
Ask.
the stars. Cause I'm
Why
just
not?
like, the worst thing they can say is no,
Is
and that
no.
it's not awful, I guess, because
Uh-huh.
they're gonna say yes to hopefully something else. And
Well, and then it's also proof that you did ask. It's like you're adding to the case file that like, okay, I can ask for what I want, and even if I'm not getting what I want immediately, like I know I can keep asking for these things,
Yes,
because now people know what I want. So now it's like, now
exactly.
it's not, we're not shooting in the dark, not what can you give me, but like, hey, if you give me this, I'd be happy to provide XYZ. And again, I think this is what makes
Exactly.
you like, it makes it an offer that a brand can't refuse when you can put forward such a good deal for them and such a good partnership relationship and not just like
Yes.
a transaction. I think that that's where I think you're really going to get some legs on this thing.
Thank you. Honestly, and that's all because of you, Michelle, because truly, again, like putting things onto like a visual slide is clearly not my forte. I'm good with colors. I can like make those colors
Mhm.
anytime, any day of the week. But I was just like, oh, damn. Cause again, it is like, I honestly like, I am great at first impressions. I'm good
Sure.
in person, but like in writing, I just don't know where to start because that's just not how my brain processes things. And that's just like
Sure.
not how my brain, especially because I also have severe ADHD. So, like reading, if you tracked my eye movements, like most people read like this, my
Mhm.
eyes are like, boop, 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 like,
Yep.
and it's just like, oh hell, like I don't know how to do this. And so like trying to fix that slide and trying to make that slide happen takes me 7 times longer than it definitely does for you. Not even just because this is your zone of genius, but because you just goddamn, like you're just naturally good at it. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm naturally bad at it.
But that's what makes this a great partnership because like you know your stuff. I love working with experts for this reason because like I don't want you to have to learn graphic design.
Thank you.
Like I want to be able to take that for you so that you can actually go do the things that you're good at that are moving the needle so that we can invest more money in graphic design. So like the whole thing is helping itself. So I think that that's and we would be remiss to not give Nadia her flowers in this too because as
Oh
if
my
just
God.
a conference were not enough, we also scheduled a photo video shoot for while
It
you were
was
here.
incredible. It was incredible. And honestly, it was hands down one of my favorite days of my entire
Yay!
life. Like
Oh my
my
gosh, that's
wedding
so
day and this day with you and Nadia, I have never felt
stop.
more beautiful in my life.
Good,
And
good, good,
just
good.
like I just felt like I was just like radiating joy
Floating.
inside out
Sure.
because of the
Yeah.
way that y'all made me feel and took care of me so well and made me feel so comfortable because the moment a camera like faces me, I'm good behind the camera. I can run a camera, but like the moment I have to be in front of it, my face like stops understanding what to do. It's like, like what's my face doing? And like my body doesn't know how to move, and then it's just so confused and
Which is
awkward.
not an atypical experience. Like, it's not an
No,
atypical experience for, like, especially again, you're an expert in what you're an expert in. Like, otherwise, you'd be an influencer. So it's like, you know what I
sometimes
mean?
I wish I were. Sometimes I
Oh, you know,
wish.
good days and bad days.
No,
But I think it's always worth the investment to have imagery that I mean, I think you're at a level up phase. Like
I
you're
am.
tiptoeing right on
I
the edge
feel
of a
like
level
it.
up. And I think that having this photography that really like represents who you are and where you're going is going to help bring all of that into focus, right?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
again, this is part of the packaging of selling what you do to
Yes,
brands and selling what you do to consumers and to roasters
exactly.
and to your coffee community is like when you can step into your own power and step into your own confidence not only of what you know but how you present it and the way that you present yourself and selling yourself as a
Yes,
concept, people will buy in. I think
absolutely.
it's a shoe in.
Thank you. Honestly, like Nadia is again, like that's her zone of genius. She's a
Yeah.
fucking genius. Oops, sorry.
Yep.
She's a
No, you can cuss.
genius. I forget sometimes which medium we're on. But she is such a genius at what she does and she's also just so good at handling
Mhm.
people and like I have never had a photographer make me feel so comfortable so fast.
Yeah.
Cuz
Yep.
like I said, I've been around cameras a lot, but I'm usually not the one being filmed. I'm the one doing the filming, but I watch these people and a lot of times it's uncomfortable. You're like,
Mhm.
"Wow, like how are they supposed to work around you?" Like you feel condescending and judgmental. Like this is awful. But Nadia is just she just takes such good care of you and she's so good at what she does and her
Uh-huh.
eye is just like, "I know exactly what I want. I want you to stand like this. I want you to stand like this and then
Uh-huh.
the lights here and we're going to move this way and we're going to move this way." And I was like, "Damn." And it's funny because she almost like code switches when she's like
Uh-huh.
behind the camera and then when she comes over to tell when she was telling me how to pose, different Nadia. Just like
Totally.
this like
Totally.
Disney princess Nadia came out and I was like, "Whoa."
Mhm. And another instance of, like, her and I work really well together is, like, I've worked with her on so many projects now where I've had like super intense mood boards and schedules and props and all these things. And then for something like you, I literally just sent her the brand deck and I was like, it's basically this. She needs some new headshots. She's like, I got you.
Yes.
And so she can just like click into the vision, which I think is
Yes.
so helpful from someone, again, who has skill set that I don't have. I'm not a photographer, but to have that and then to also like know that we have that and the behind the scenes video and we're going to get the photos back and like everything's going to really, we can then do like a full refresh on your website,
I
which is
know,
then
I'm so
really
excited, and honestly,
appreciated.
like, it came about because you asked me for a photo, and I was like,
Yeah,
"I don't have one."
I know, got that.
I think I have 0 photos of myself because
Yep,
that's just not me, and
yeah.
so it was like, "Oh, man," and then World of Coffee asked for a headshot, and I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
my god," and I had to, like, shoot a random one when I was, like, injured and sick after a trip, and I was like, "This is
This is
the
not it.
worst." Like, this is
Yeah,
the worst, and so
yep,
I was like, "Oh, thank God for Nadia. Thank God for
yep.
Nadia. Thank God for
And
Michelle,
good
who knows
photos.
Nadia."
Listen, good photos will last you a long time, like, so much as you're not,
Yes,
like,
they
majorly
will.
switching up your vibe, but, like, I do, like, maybe a photo
Nah,
shoot. I used to do them in 2016, 17. I was doing photo shoots, like, I don't know, every 4 months just because like, I love the creative expression of it, and then I was
same.
like, "Wait, what am I doing? Like, what am I selling?" Like, hold on a minute, like, what? So now I just get,
Because
like, new
it's so
headshots once
fun.
a year. Yeah, but, like, new refreshed photos of yourself, like, doing what you love and, like, in a good energy, in a good headspace, like, it really is one of those investments that will pay off. Like, it's for sure worth it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, and I feel like you can already see it just
Yeah.
in the clips that you grabbed from that day, like, you can tell how happy I am. Like, you can
Mhm.
tell how beautiful I feel, and
Mhm.
that was so much in part to you and Nadia. And shout out to my friend Christine Alcalay who had all
Uh-huh.
those clothes for me to wear. Like, I felt
Amazing.
as powerful or I looked as powerful as I felt.
As you
Like, I was
felt.
just like, "Look at all these amazing women that I am so lucky to surround myself with." So, I was just so grateful
Absolutely.
for all of y'all. I still am so grateful for all of y'all. You're never getting rid of me, Michelle. I keep saying this, but, like,
Listen, totally
it's
fair,
just
like, and totally fine because I think this is one of those partnerships, like, you're up in the pantheon of the brands that we've worked with where I'm like, "Yeah, anything she needs, like, I'll do it."
thank you. Thank you. Because Lord
Oh
knows
my
I'm
god.
gonna need it. I'm gonna need it for sure.
Okay, well, then let's tell the people, what are we excited about? What are we now working towards? Because I think there's a
Oh my
lot kind of
god.
coming down the pipeline now that the brand's been launched. You've had your first kind of real activation of the brand through World of
Yes.
Coffee. We're getting new photos. What are the things that you're excited about? I know you've got this roasting workshop coming up, but what can people
Yes.
expect from Studio Tigre before I get you back in 2 months and we talk about it again on the podcast
Or next month, we can do that too.
or next month? Yeah.
Honestly, there's so much happening, and it is because of this beautiful weekend that was just, like, life-changing. We're doing the workshop on May 15, and that is my Inside the Roast workshop, and that's gonna be here in LA, and that is a small group with the
Mhm.
sample roaster, the ROS sample roaster, and I'm doing it in conjunction with my friend Woodcat Coffee in Echo Park. And then I have roasting intensives, which are my multi-day deeper dives into roasting. So it's either 1, 2, or 4 days or more. And I really like set the foundation for you. These are for people who like really want to roast, do roasting as a like a like a career, as a business, or just for that enthusiast who's like, I got the money, let's do this. I want to know because that to me is also so joyous. Like I love that. And I've already booked up all of May, half of June, and half of July. So I'm so stoked. And
Holy
then
moly.
at some point, I really want to finally host people in my studio of Studio Tigre for my coffee omakases because I'm not gonna lie, they've been a little neglected because of all the other things I've been doing. But it is just those moments of like a private 8-person service that's by reservation only where I get to just like show you coffees and drinks that are just so they're just like pure fun and pure joy for me to share. I love sharing clearly in all ways, shapes, and forms. And like as a Filipino, feeding someone or like sharing your food and drink with someone is the way that we show love. And like
Mhm.
what better way for me to express that towards people than by like sharing the stories of like those coffees and producers and the roasters that roasted them in this like fun ass drink that's gonna be so
Yes.
delicious. Because I also love eating and drinking. So
Same, girl. We have that in common. Okay, let's also put your pie in the sky goal of like eventually hosting an origin trip.
oh my God, pie in the sky goal. I really want this to happen. I want to host an
Mhm.
origin trip that would allow people to come with me because I love traveling and I know you do too. You
Yeah,
just did
girl.
it with Gallivant Society in
Mhm.
India. And that would be such a dream to host something with them and to honestly just anytime I can expose people to a bigger world out there and
Yeah.
into and then let them into my world a little bit and just share in all that joy. I it's just such a special moment. And that's something that I got to do at K&M. Like I got to bring teammates of mine to my travels with me to these countries and farms that they would have never been able to access had I not been able to bring them, right? And
Mhm.
so there's just such a whole world and there's so many hands that have to touch that coffee before it ever gets to your cup. And it is just a dream of mine to show you like the passion that these people have for what they do and then how I feel the weight of that when I'm roasting that coffee because after you see what they do, like, how can I not? Right.
Right.
And then
Right.
they're so proud of their country and they're so proud of their land and everything. And I'm just like, I just eat up all that culture. I want all of that culture just to like, just seep into me. Like, let's
Well,
go.
and it's so necessary and it's so connected to like the mission and vision of your brand, right? So like where
Yes.
flavor finds people. Like I think there's just
Hmm.
having more acknowledgement and more just cognition around what it takes to get product into our hands, I think
My
is something that
gosh.
we've all fallen off from, that we all need the
Yes.
reminder about.
Yes.
And I totally resonate with your whole idea of like making something for someone and having them enjoy it is like the ultimate form of love. Like and joy and just and community and sharing. And like I noticed that so much traveling through India. And then also
Yes.
like I got really into watercoloring. And so then being able to make things to give to someone was so satisfying. And I'm like, oh, like there is like a magic to this. So I feel that
Really,
all
it
these
is.
goals that you have are so attainable. And we're like you said, you goal pretty hard, you go
I
pretty
go
big.
real hard.
And I need the reminder to do that because I need to get kind of back in touch with my goals too. So I think we are on parallel paths and your success is our success and likewise. And so I'm excited to be here with you. But in case anyone
I'm so
forgot, can you
stoked.
tell them where to find you, where to follow you, where to get more information?
Absolutely. Truly, Michelle killed it on all of my branding. So anywhere you follow me or look at any of my stuff, just know it is
Hey.
Michelle's gorgeous, beautiful zone of genius. So I am on socials at studiotigre.la, Tigre Tigre, and then www.studiotigrela.com. And shoot me a DM. I am human. I will answer you. I'm trying to do this thing too where I like record a little video for you so that like,
Cute.
and then you can record back to me. So I really want this to just feel more connecting, right?
Yeah.
Because this is like, why am I doing this if I'm not connecting with you, if I'm not
Yep.
having fun? And that's everything that I want to do. And I want it to taste damn delicious while I'm doing it. So
Love that. Love the sound of that. Amazing.
yes,
Well, thanks
girl.
everyone. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for your time, Mo. If you love
Thank
the
you for
episode, don't
having
forget
me.
to comment, send it, save it, share it to a friend. Check out the show notes. Everything will be linked there for you. And keep your eyes out for these workshops, roasting workshops, and for the
Yes.
coffee omakase because I'm so into that and I need to do
I
that
can't
ASAP.
wait. It's going to
Yeah.
be so fun.
Amazing. Well, have a good rest of your day and thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.